everyone, and welcome to my Postpartum Recovery Series. If you've already watched this intro and you know how to go through this, just skip ahead to the exercise part and get started with those. Otherwise, stick around because I have some important information to share so you can get the most out of these videos and out of these exercises. So let me explain to you what you'll get by going through this series. The goal is to help you regain awareness, functionality, and strength in your pelvic floor and your deep core muscles. And we do that by working progressively. So there are 7 parts in this series, and you really want to be mastering the exercises in part 1, making sure you feel confident with them, making sure you have noticed some progress in your body before moving on to part 2 and working like this all the way through part 7. So it's really important to take your time while you go through this series. If you ever notice some bulging or coning, it means you have gone too far, and really it doesn't matter if it takes you a little bit longer. Just make sure you have mastered those exercises and really feel good about them before taking the next step. And another very important point that I need to make is that the foundation of postpartum recovery is breath work. So we are going to work with our breath all the way throughout the series. As the exercises get more challenging, the breath work stays. And yes, it can get boring, but it is essential. So if you don't know how to properly perform a core breath, make sure to check out the step-by-step guide that I've made. I'll link it down below. But just as a quick recap, really inhale 360 degrees around your core, into your ribs, into your back, into your pelvic floor, and then on the exhale, we want to gently lift the pelvic floor, zip our core up, the navel comes up slightly, and we bring our ribs down and in. And again, we don't want to be holding tension, and we don't want to be gripping down. So also make sure that you continue to have a nice posture. Shoulders are open, chest is open, and our spine is in a neutral position. And the third point I want to make is to just take your time. There is no timeline to follow. Everybody moves at different speed. It's all going to depend on how you were before you got pregnant, how much you did, how much you exercised throughout the pregnancy, how your pregnancy developed, how your birth was. So really forget about the timeline. It could take you 4 months, it could take you 6 months, it could take you a year. It really doesn't matter. Another thing to note is that if you're breastfeeding, it can take your body a little bit longer to recover, as the prolactin levels are quite high in the body, and hormonally we just don't go back to our pre-pregnancy state until we stop breastfeeding. So to summarize, make sure you're working progressively through the series. Don't skip any steps. Take your time. Make sure you're mastering the breath work. We are really working from the inside out. We're starting with that inner core, the pelvic floor, the diaphragm, the transversus abdominis, and then working our way out. And by the end of it, you'll be able to perform any type of core exercise that you wish. And again, just take your time. And another quick side note, if you've had a C-section, you should do some scar work before starting with part 1. I will make a video for that as well and link it down below. So maybe it will take you a little bit longer before you can start with part 1. But again, it doesn't matter. We're going to forget about any timeline. But yeah, so just make sure you are mobilizing the scar and desensitizing it before we go and start activating all those muscles around the incision. And that's it. I hope it all makes sense. If you have any questions, just leave a comment down below, and let's get started with part 1. Alright, so this is part 5. We're going to go through 4 exercises. 2 of them are still going to be in coordination with our core breath. The last 2 are not, and we're going to work a little bit more on the resistance of the contraction rather than the strength. So let's get started. You can set the ball to the side for the first one. And we're going to go into a side kneeling plank. Elbow under the shoulder. And here we're going to work on a hip lift. And if you want to, you can add a clam at the top. And like I said, we're working in coordination with our breath for this first 2. So big inhale. 360 degrees around, into the back, into the sides. And on the exhale, zip it up. With a lift, and you can stop here if you wish, or you can add the clamp. And release, reset, and take this big inhale again. And Exhaling on the lift. Zipping that core up. Navel should come up and in slightly. Always starting from the pelvic floor. Let's do 2 more. Okay, we're gonna switch sides. Get into position, and we're gonna do 5 repetitions on this side as well. Big inhale. And 5, very good. For our second exercise, we're going to take the ball and we're going to get into an all-fours position. Ball or pillow go in between our knees. Here, we first want to check in with our posture. So nice and neutral spine. Fingers are spread and really pushing into the floor. Same with the toes at the back. You can also choose to have flat feet like this and kind of push onto the top of your foot. And we're still working coordination with our breath. So we take a deep inhale, and on the exhale, we're bringing that core up, starting from the pelvic floor, and we're going to lift the knees off the mat slightly and squeeze the ball at the same time. Here we hold for 3 to 5 seconds and release. And let's do 4 more of these. So big inhale, and exhaling, bringing the navel up, lifting the knees and squeezing onto that ball. 3, 4, 5, and release. Big inhale. And let's do 1 more. Okay, for our third exercise, we're going to be in this position on our backs, and we're not working in coordination with our breath anymore, but we want to do a preparatory breath. So inhale to exhale. Practice for hold a good amount of tension in there, but I should be able to breathe through it, and that's what we want to do. So, and then you have 2 options for the exercise. One will be that we extend the leg from this position and we perform leg circles from here. Again, I should have tension in the core, but still be able to breathe through it like I am talking through it right now. The other option, which is a little bit more challenging, is that we perform the leg circles from a bridge position. So we're here, and then we're going to circle our leg without swinging the hips too far from one side to the other. So choose whichever option you can. Of course, you can test them both, but now let's switch between the 2. So we're going to start with a nice inhale. Lift the pelvic floor, zip the core up. Okay, now I'm holding this tension, and here extend the leg, and I'm breathing through it, and I'm performing my circles. Let's do 8 to 10 circles here. Release. Inhale, prep your core again. And let's go on the other side. Okay, next I'm gonna lift into a bridge and try to do it from there. So inhale. I'm zipping up and I'm holding there as I do my leg circles. And let's switch sides. Try to keep the hips as high as you can here. And release. Okay, we're gonna do one per side in both positions. I'm prepping my core, zipping up and I'm holding here. Breathing through it. And release. Focus on holding. I don't want my belly button to come out or drop. And break. Okay, 2 more reps from a high bridge position this time. I'm prepping my core. Very good. I'm always focusing on pushing the foot that's on the mat really hard into the floor. And break. Okay, very good. For our last exercise, we're going to flip onto a knee plank position. So we are here, we're not in an all-fours position, so hips are not bent, they are nice and extended. And from here, we're again doing the same as we did in the previous exercise, prepping our core with a good amount of tension, but we're still able to breathe through it. And here, I'm just simply going to go try to touch my opposite shoulder with one hand. Again, I'm holding this tension, but I can breathe through it. Nice and slow movement, and I'm making sure that my hips do not move too far side to side. So one thing that can help is if I'm moving my left hand, I'm really focusing on pushing my right hand hard into the mat as well as the left hand. Keep hold of tension in the core. One more here, and then take a little break, reset, take a few deep breaths. We're going to do one more set. I get into my plank position, nice and neutral spine, hips are extended, preparatory breath, zip that core up, and we hold it there. Here you can do as many repetitions as you can manage before you feel that core releasing, before you're not able to hold tension anymore. Nice, so 2 more. Alright, these are the 4 exercises for part 5. They are fairly more challenging than what we've done up until now, but you should still be able to really manage based on what your body allows you to do. Just reduce the repetitions or take longer breaks in between. And the most important thing is that you focus on quality over quantity. I'll see you in the next one.